west. And a lot of things are randomized here in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, including the map, the treasure chest and search spot contents, town and cave locations, weapon and armor shop contents, the enemy locations, enemy spells and abilities, as well as the order of spells learned, though they're guaranteed to learn all 10 spells by level 16. And we'll see if they've learned any at the start here as we are about to get underway.
And for our start, we have Herb, and the obligatory magic key. And quick look at these stats from Z-Man, and ooh, those are some hideous stats.
Oh wow, four attack power and 4 strength. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be doing an average of 0 to 1 hit point of damage on everything.
Oh boy, and Magidrakies with Hurtmore starting out with our first COD, taking Lavkian back to the throne room.
Yeah, there's a nice how do you do to get things going.
Meanwhile, Z-Man slowly trying to work on this red slime. That 4 strength, not getting it done too quickly, but he does manage to take it down. However, with all the damage he sustained, unless he uses one of those precious herbs he started with, I don't think he'll have enough to take out another, and, well, he's not going to have to worry about it.
The old Drakema snipe trick. And wow, the slimes have baby breath, that dragon breath that does about 20 or so hit points of damage.
Wow, that's... looks like we're not going to be grinding on the poor, not so weak and defenseless blue slimes this time around.
No, to give you an idea with those statistics, I mean, all but one of the statistics are in the red, meaning that they're subpar to start, and the one that is in the white that you see there is just barely. If it was one magic point fewer, then it would be in the red as well. But hopefully we'll get some of those out of there as we've got level 2 here for Z-Man.
And, wow, 1, 0, 6, and 7 with no spells. HP's looking a lot better now, but no additional agility, no additional strength. Still going to be doing the slow grind here for a while.
And also of note, the builds and statistics slightly different for our runners, as when you enter your name into the start of the game, it creates an algorithm that gives 2 out of the 4 statistics a little bit of a boost throughout the later part of the game. And in the case of Z-Man, well, that capital Z builds, it gives you a bonus to your strength and hit points, whereas the lowercase f that Lavkian is using, it gives a strength and agility boost. So you'll see the differences how those work across the way here.
And both runners being sent directly back to the throne room, almost in stereo here. And kind of a rough starting zone. They have enough health that they can actually do a little adventuring to the west in the swamp.
Although, given the way the enemies have been decimating just because they can, doesn't necessarily. Although, knowing my luck, there's a town there that's right there, as well as a cave that has Erdrick's sword, because that's the way these seeds tend to work sometimes.
Well, I mean, even if there was a town, there wouldn't be much to be had from the town, seeing as how there was no starting gold, and they haven't really been able to grind up much gold either.
Well, unless that town is Cole that has the searchable spot, and let's say it has Erdrick's armor, the best armor in the game, then yeah, it's something you wouldn't mind hoping for.
Well, this is true. It would certainly give them a little bit more of an ability to live longer. Unfortunately, we are going to have to sit through a bit of a slow grind on some red slimes until we get something in our stats that might help, or maybe an early hurt more. Everybody loves the early hurt mores. I know I sure do.
As do I as well, but that'll give us a chance to let you know a little bit about the remainder of the tournament coming up here. This is we've got level 3 here for Lavkian. With some modest gains, now just about everything out of the red, with the exception of the defense.
Yeah, those were actually some decent stats. And Z-Man with the slightly different build there, seeing almost the same stats as well. But still no spells.
And a Stone Man, oh wow, almost simultaneous deaths as a Stone Man takes out Lavkian and a Magidrake taking out Z-Man.
Yeah, the Stone Man hitting for a ton of bricks as usual.
But at least now with their attack power at 10, they at least have the potential to one-shot those reds 4 hit points at a time. And so that'll make it at least a little bit easier to chip away in terms of the experience. And they are able to one-shot those slimes and not have to worry about that baby breath anymore.
Yeah, however, Drakimas and the Magidrakes, Drakimas being a little too tough to take down, and Magidrakes with hurt more still, not allowing them to do a whole lot when they run into those. And Z-Man gonna go ahead and take a little early exploration, and he does find a town. Will he get to it, though?
Well, there's a Warlock. He gets away, and we have the town of Cantlin.
Well, we have our shopping mall spotted. Will it have anything good today? Well, there's a silver shield, and not far away from Tantagel, but Z-Man chooses not to check the other shop for now.
And is going to get a trip right back to the castle thanks to the Red Dragon, better known as the Fun Police.
Well, that is at least some good information to know for later, if he can find some of the more accommodating monsters over there that roam around with the Red Dragons.
Yes, known as the Fun Police because when they show up, the fun tends to stop.
Wow, and with that low agility, low defense power, even Drolls at this point are just not being very friendly. So, other than Cantlin, not much west of Tantagel right now, so we are going to have to go west through the swamp here, it looks like.
Yeah, you mentioned the damage. I mean, the Drolls able to hit for anywhere from 5 to 10 hit points because of how low our players' defense is here.
And there's that Hurtmore again, sending Z-Man back home as a Metal Scorpion sends Lavkian home. And even with the agility build, Lavkian's still not having much better defense power.
Yeah, for the moment they are both pretty similar here. And that Metal Scorpion's able to hit for 8 to 16, so a bit of a high roll there on Lavkian. But even with a low roll, it would have been troublesome and problematic.
I fear I'm going to be getting a little bit of blame on this one. And Lavkin looked like he was actually trying for that Magidrake. Perhaps, I don't know, just having a little trouble running, I guess. It would be worth a decent amount of experience if he could take one of them down, but it seems they do like Hurtmore quite often as well. Speaking of which, sorry, Z-Man. And I should apologize to Lavkian as well. Enjoy your Hurtmores, gentlemen.
Plus, at this point, I mean, they'd be. It's a coin flip for them to even inflict one hit point of damage at a time on the Magidrake. Still just a little too low to go after. I mean, at this point, slimes and red slimes are going to be the way to go. Maybe Drakey if they can find one, but they don't look to be in this zone.
Well, we did see a ghost, but we will see Lavkian getting to level 4, and that is a much-needed level 4. No agility, but 12 power, 12 HP, and we finally see Repel as our spell. Not going to do them much good at this point right now, though.
All that would do would be to scare away the enemies that they're trying to beat down in the slimes and red slimes, and that would also repel the Drakeys, but that's about it.
Well, speaking of the Drakey, Lavkian has found a Drakey and can easily take it down now. Also found a skeleton. Unfortunately, cannot take a skeleton down since they hurt quite a bit still.
Yeah, skeletons are a little on the overzealous side at this point.
And Lavkian breaking away and doing some exploration now. And, well, we saw a ghost for just a moment, then it disappeared. Ghost will join the slimes in being one of the one-shot enemies. Unfortunately, they only give you 4 experience, so not a whole lot.
So Lavkian seeing the town and going right to the item shop, and here comes level 4 for Z-Man, and he's going to enjoy that power boost.
And we see for both of them, no agility that level, but Z-Man does get 1 extra HP for going with the strength HP build. And we'd see what was in the bottom shop here, and, well, not too bad. There's a large shield, which is much easier to be purchased than the silver shield.
And Lavkian also picking up and putting on the dragon scale. That will give him 2 extra defense points, which will not help against the knight.
No, it will not, but Z-Man went ahead and risked against the Magidrake and was able to take it down for 12 experience. Only a 2 experience point lead at this point, but it did catch him up.
As they are both looking to get to 82 experience to get to level 5. And now, having 22 attack power, there's a little bit more leeway as far as what they can go after.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about this Warlock fight, but we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, Lavkian appears to be breaking north through the swamp, and look at that, another town just outside of it.
He's going 2 to 5 hit points at a time on the attack. Gets a high roll there, 5, and there's Breckenary.
We have your favorite town.
Yes, good old 6 town. Utilize the 6 gold, which is all you can use to buy. That's the only thing you can really afford here at this point with your 11 gold. So spend half of it to recover all your hit points and magic points, and at least peruse the shop.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Z-Man did take down that Warlock and will be quickly approaching level 5 now. Just 2 red slimes away. So a little early exploration for Lavkian, but not really paying off at the moment. Oh, wow. And that is actually a very decent level, and we see Hurt and Sleep. Both will be quite useful early on right now. I believe a single Hurt should actually take out these Magidrakes now, too.
Well, we'll have to find out next time.
On Dragon Warrior Z?
I suppose.
Or in this case, I guess it should be Dragon Warrior Z-Man.
Ah, yes. So Lavkian taking out a Droll rather nicely, and now crossing some marsh and finding another town. Or no, that's the same town. He just went at it from a different angle.
Ooh, and we have Metal Scorpions who have Heal. But a well-placed sleep will make it a much easier fight for Z-Man to take out. I think just 2 hurts should take out that Metal Scorpion. If it'll stay asleep.
And a big 31.
Yeah, Z-Man is definitely going to be able to put a lot of work in with that sleep and hurt spell, taking on some of these tougher enemies here. Meanwhile, lavkian farming just outside of Breckenary and gets an excellent move against the Droll, but unfortunately with these low numbers, not enough to take it out with one excellent move yet. But we'll go ahead and progress to level 5. And we'll see a small shield purchase for Z-Man. Not a bad choice, getting some defense early on since that stat has remained quite low.
And an interesting question in chat: is sleep improving the odds of the hurt spell landing? It does not. All it does is prevent the enemy from attacking.
Yeah, that only improves Z-Man's odds of staying alive. And unfortunately, looks like Z-Man having a little bit of a hiccup. All right, looks like we have Lavkin using hurt effectively on skeletons now, along with sleep to try and mitigate some of that damage. And it looks like Z-Man was able to take down a Drakima.
Well, every little bit helps, that's for sure. Just being able to have those strength gains are just so important.
Yeah, right now, any strength that will get them above the damage that the hurt spell can do would be um, quite welcomed at this point.
And here is level 6 for Lavkian.
And we have a heal. And level 6 for Z-Man as well. Stats were actually quite decent, along with a large MP increase there as well. And looks like we have our first cave sighting on Lavkin's side, but ooh, he gets away from the golem. I was gonna say, but looks like a golem will not let him go in.
And able to get away from a wyvern also.
And I want to say this is Swamp North.
Yeah, based on the movement, that looks to be the case. And ooh, a gold man taking out Z-Man.
Goldman not particularly powerful, but still able to punch him out. And Lavkin able to take out the Drakima, so our swamp exploration will be complete.
And it leads to another point of the map.
Unfortunately, not getting to find the backside of Garanham, which would be preferred when you go through the south of Swamp. Some free chests to open and potentially something quite nice inside. Which at this point would either be Urgic's sword or a key, perhaps.
And Lavkian going down to the wizard.
Yep, finds another cave, but the wizard says thou shalt not pass. And meanwhile, Z-Man just doing a bit more grinding, trying to get a few more levels before he does his exploration. Can't say I blame him. At this point, with how things have been going, finding Fun Police not so far away from the castle and quite a few other nasty enemies such as knights, a few more levels, not a bad idea.
Yeah, and it looks like in the process, though, Z-Man at least a little bit more efficient in terms of the experience grinding, with about a 50 plus. Oh, we've got skeletons with Dragon Lord breath, hitting between 64 and 72 hit points of damage. That's going to immediately send Lavkian back.
Yeah, Lavkin unfortunately getting roasted over there. And Z-Man is quickly approaching the next level.
Yeah, 337 experience points, the target number for level 7.
And this magician here should do it for him. And was actually able to see that the magicians, not only do they have heal, they also have hurt more. So Z-Man did attain that next level, so he was able to make it to 7. Didn't get to see if there was any new spells or not, though.
We'll see you next time he opens the spell menu. As it looks like Z-Man heading back on into Breckenary, or as he puts it, oh look, Breckenary.
Yeah, for me that is called Nope Town.
Well, here is up to level 7 for Lavkian.
Well, I mean, yeah, not that great on stats.
More marginal than anything else, I guess.
That's a fair way of putting it.
Lavkian, meanwhile, going to use the cheap rest and head on over to the item shop. Perhaps restock up on some herbs, maybe a torch. Oh, he's got a couple of torches, so more than likely some herbs. No spells at level 7, so we still have the same 4 out of the 10 spells.
Yeah, that's about the only thing I use Breckenary for, is restocking my herbs if I haven't already got them. Or if I haven't found a silver shield, I will definitely check the shop, see if it might be hiding in Breckenary. And that's gotta be what's keeping their economy going. We know it certainly is not the inn. And Lavkian attempting to take on this knight over here. Oh, no, he was just sleeping it to get away. I thought perhaps he was going to try the slept and wreck technique, but not today, not today.
Yeah, heal being very effective. We've got a cave over here on Lavkian's side, and it is the Rainbow Drop Cave, known as the Jerk Cave.
Well, that's a long trek through some swamp, but it's at least good information to have.
So what will end up happening is our runners will gather the essential items, the Erdrick's token, the Stones of Sunlight, as well as the Staff of Rain, once they pick up the silver harp in a cave, in a treasure chest rather, and then go to a cave that has an old man that wants that harp and will give you the Staff of Rain in exchange for it. Then they'll go back to that cave and they will acquire the Rainbow Drop. As we now have a chainmail pickup on Z-Man's side.
Yeah, and while Lavkian's getting a lot of the early exploration lead, and isn't actually very far behind on the experience from Z-Man right now either.
Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, unless Z-Man has an idea of exactly which way to go or kind of lucks out in that way. But yeah, knowing where you don't have to go is always an advantage if your opponent does not yet know whether or not they're heading in the right direction.
Well, so far, it doesn't seem like on the main continent anyway, there's really a lot to get lost in. Speaking of losses, Lavkian lost his fight with the brick wall, better known as the Golem.
Yeah, our runners combining to average roughly a death every minute and a half or so.
Death a minute. What is this, chaos? Z-Man deciding to nope away from the swamp. Unfortunately, that is the way he will need to go at some point to find that the Rainbow Drop Cave lives over there. And our tracker noting in chat that chaos is apparently like pie.
What, delicious?
Well, I certainly think it is. Or messy, I mean, whatever way you want to look at it.
Yes, that, as we're noting that too. Yes, there are quite a few, there are quite a few runners in the Dragon Warrior community who enjoy the additional Chaos mode, which we had a tournament earlier this year, which has even more things randomized, including the prices of the weapons, armor, and shields. Also, all the statistics of the enemies are randomized. Their strength, their agility, their hit points, the amount of experience they give, the amount of gold they give. It has led to some very interesting Interesting scenarios, to say the least, as Azrael Ravenheart, our tracker, definitely making his feelings felt in chat.
I will say I am most definitely a big advocate of the Chaos mode, but it is most definitely not for the faint of heart. I mean, we have seen in just our normal tournament, so far, we haven't even reached the bracket stages, but we have seen some 2 up to 3 hour long seeds, and that's abnormal for the normal flags, which is what you're seeing here. Whereas Chaos, 2 to 3 hour long seeds, that's actually normal.
And the winner of said Chaos tournament this year, High Spirits, chiming in saying that Chaos is easy, just enough random. But talking about somebody who enjoys torture, I mean, this is somebody who just was up over 80 hours playing Dragon Quest 1 through 9 in succession.
Oh yes, that is what I would call torture for sure. And we do see level 8 for Z-Man. We will definitely welcome the outside spell. Not going to be the most useful currently, as he's not found any caves to explore.
And lavkian getting up there as well, just 11 seconds apart between getting to level 8 in terms of experience.
And we're starting to see some rather decent stats come through as well.
And now they're able to do a little bit of damage here and there.
And we see a copper sword purchase on Z-Man's side, as he's been rather successful at keeping some of his gold on hand. So that will make his ability to take some of these enemies down much easier, as he should be doing more damage than what the hurt spell will do. Also allows him to keep his MP for healing instead of attacking.
And lavkian, meanwhile, is going to get his hit points replenished, but not in the way that he was hoping to, as the knight takes him out and sends him back.
And we're going to be looking for 975 for our level 9 now. And hopefully we will be seeing something to make this a little easier on our runners, such as maybe a nice hurt more spell. I'm sure they are both praying for that level that has hurt more. Z-Man is finally striking out a little bit more, it looks like, and getting his exploration done. Meanwhile, a werewolf is going to be sending Lavkian back home again.
Interestingly enough, lavkian had cast Repel prior to encountering that werewolf. Now, the way Repel works is any enemy whose strength is the same as or less than your defense, you will not encounter on the overworld. So in this case, any enemy that has a strength of, in lavkian's case, 22 or less, won't be encountered on the overworld. So that's pretty much everything from a Drakema down.
Yeah, it's great for keeping the enemies that you no longer want to see away, but unfortunately that also means that the enemies you also don't want to see that will harm you very quickly will be more likely to appear, such as this stone man who just punched the man for quite a bit, even with his newly purchased dragon scale, which I don't think he equipped. I saw a purchase, I didn't see an equip though.
Meanwhile, lavkian is trying to make his way through the cave, and does so, and gets through the swamp cave to the other side.
And Z-Man finding out that the cave across the swamp is the Rainbow Drop Cave. Good information for later, but doesn't do much for helping him right now.
As I mentioned earlier, it's known as the Jerk Cave. The reason for it is if you don't have all of the key items, most specifically the Erdrick's token, well, that old man, he will literally force you out of the cave.
And speaking of one of those key items, Lavkian stumbling across the Staff of Rain cave, where you will take the Silver Harp and trade it in for the Staff of Rain.
Once they find it, although the Silver Harp is going to be somewhere in one of the 23 chests throughout the land that are not in Sharlock Castle. So we've got another town here, and it is Rimeldar.
Now this is definitely a big find for Lavkian, as that will give him keys, finally. We'll get to see what is inside of Tantagel Treasury and the basement, which at this point, we have seen the Jerk, we have seen the Staff of Rain, we have seen Swamp. That leaves only a few caves left, all of which have treasure in them. We have Tablet Cave, we have Garenham's Grave, we have the Mountain Cave, and we have the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight Cave. And we also have Red Dragons just a little northwest of the castle as well. So they will be stopping the people along their way to get their rainbow drop. And we'll be getting to see the treasury sooner than later, as a Red Dragon will send Lavkian back home as well.
Well, every little bit helps, as only a couple of keys purchased, but I mean, 2 can certainly be enough here, depending on what is in the treasury here.
Well, we get a fighter's ring. There's the silver harp we were talking about, and more magic keys along with gold to purchase more magic keys with. Z-Man has now stumbled into the swamp and run afoul of a Dragon Lord 2 breath-breathing green dragon.
So this is a rather spicy green dragon this time around.
Lavkian will go ahead and stock up on the keys, and we'll get to see what is in the basement now. Don't believe Lavkian equipped his fighter's ring. There's a lot of dragon scale and fighter ring not being equipped going on. And we have the Tablet Cave.
So no enemy encounters in the Tablet Cave. It's access to 1 free treasure chest at the end. And it's roughly about a 22-second venture if you have the outside spell, which they do, and replacement torch.
He used the torch, got to replace it. Lavkian going back in, perhaps gonna do some little unorthodox gold grind here. There is a free key along with gold, so he can continuously go in the treasury and pick up the key that he uses to get inside of it and pick up some more gold along with an extra fighter's ring to sell. And he does go ahead and put that fighter's ring on this time.
Now the fighter's ring, once you equip it, it gives an additional 2 attack power to your total.
I have to say I'm a bit curious what Lavkian is grinding gold for. I would certainly not think it's going to be the 14,800 required for a silver shield. Maybe a little extra gold for a better weapon, perhaps? Broadsword, maybe?
I believe that there was a broadsword in Brecconary, so he may be getting at least the 1,500 gold to get that, as since it looks like he doesn't have a weapon at the moment, that he more than likely is trying to get. He'll get a nice additional 20 attack power to the total once he gets that broadsword. So that'll really allow him to start mashing on some things.
And chat mentioning also a large shield would be possible as well, as those were both in the same shop. Meanwhile, Z-Man running afoul of those golems.
Oh, that's right. The broadsword was also in the lower of the 3 shops in Cantlin.
This also means Lavkian can see if we have some coordinates, as with the heal spell, he will be able to go ahead and travel through the damaging tiles in Cantlin and speak with the old man.
Now, what that means is, yes, in the town of Cantlin, there is a man that gives coordinates to the overworld if they're applicable. There are 3 potential search spots in the land, one in the town of Cole, one in the town of Hawksnest, and one somewhere in the overworld where there can be items. Usually it's either the Fairy Flute, the Erdrick's Token, one of those essential items we had mentioned earlier, or Erdrick's Armor, the best armor in the game. Now, the caveat to that is that the Fairy Flute and Erdrick's Token could be in one of those search spots, or they could be in a treasure chest. So, if they're in a treasure chest, then those other spots will come up as finding nothing.
And Zman able to take a Magiwyvern out quite successfully there, while Lavkian getting accosted by a Star Wyvern.
But is able to put it to sleep and run away.
And Zman also going to go ahead and attempt the Slept and Wrecked technique on the Knight.
Sports have been noting in chat, this is why you save, kids.
Oh yes, definitely don't want to do a gold grind, especially the much slower grind, and lose half your gold after doing so. And we do see a half plate along with a large shield purchased on Lavkin's side. Maybe a slight miscalculation, as he will not have enough for... Oh no, he will have enough for the large shield, never mind. My slight miscalculation, not his.
800 gold for the large shield. So that'll add 10 attack power to the total. So now a fairly robust defense on Lavkian's part. You see those barrier tiles causing some issues, as each step that you take on them, it does 15 hit points of damage.
Oh, thou may go and search... Ooh, 60 north and 68 west. Well, we know there is a lot of ocean north of the castle, so... I believe we're going to be seeing a princess rescue this time around. And so the reason why we may see the princess rescued is she has a couple of extra abilities you receive after returning her to the king. If you do dive into the swamp cave, you defeat the guardian who is keeping her imprisoned there and bring her back. She will give you Gwaelin's Love. Gwaelin's Love does 2 things. The first is she will tell you how much experience you need to get to the next level. The second thing is she tells you where you are in relation to the castle. So we have affectionately dubbed her the Gwaelin Positioning System, or GPS.
Because we have to make these things fun in some interesting ways. Plus, we like puns.
Puns are fun. They're puns of fun.
They most certainly are. And Z-Man working on another Magiwyvern here, and I believe this will get him... Yeah, it'll get him over the mark to level 9 if he's able to take it out, and Lavkian, meanwhile, being taken out by an Axed Knight.
Well, that's at least a little good news for Lavkian when it comes to doing some grinding later, potentially, as those hills over there have a much higher encounter rate. If they're filled with Axe Knights, those are a great spot to grind for experience and gain levels at. And Z-Man getting a taste of the Magician's Hurt more there, stopping him as he was on his way in the direction of Remolder there.
So now looking at the stats here, combined 29 deaths for both of our runners here, 45 minutes into the seed.
And being noted, what other use does Gwaylin have in normal rando aside from GPS? Alluding to, well, in Chaos, she has a bit of more use by the fact that in the normal rando, well, we know exactly how much experience we need to our next level. That's not an issue. In Chaos, you never have an idea how much you're going to need, and so she does have a bit more of a purpose in the Chaos mode. They had to give her something.
Oh gosh. And it looks like a snowman, but we have a fire-breathing wall.
That is certainly a very evil wall.
I feel like there's a Final Fantasy VII reference to be had there, but I can't quite place it.
Well, some sort of Final Fantasy reference anyway.
I'm thinking in the Temple of the Ancients, but it's been a while. And yeah, Azrael noting in chat that there's orange in these statistics now. Now what that means, as Z-Man has gone to level 9, is usually when the numbers start turning orange is when you want to think about and consider possibly maybe going for the Dragon Lord. Now that's usually if you have at least all of them in orange, then you maybe think about it, but now obviously still quite a bit to go before they get there. When you see those go from orange to green, you know that that is an acceptable number to be able to consider going to the Dragon Lord. But to give you an idea, in order for the strength to go green, you have to be at 90 or above. For the agility, you're looking into the 70s, mid 70s, I'd say. Hit points, you want to be over 130 to hit green. So there's still a little while to go for all of them. And Naslachi coming in big. Yes, Secret of Mana did have the best evil walls. Oh, and we've got that fire breath once again from the skeleton, the Dragon Lord breath. And now level 9 for Lavkian. And Azrael noting the wolf with the combination of sleep and the hurt spell, which is more annoying than anything else since they have a little bit of wiggle room in terms of hit points and endurance. It's more hurting in terms of time than it is damage and hit points.
I have to say, I completely forgot about the walls in Secret of Mana, but I think those are the ones that do breathe fire.
And so too do rogue scorpions.
Wow, there's a surprisingly large amount of enemies that have fire breath of some sort here. We've seen, stonemen, skeletons, green dragons, and now rogue scorpions? Have I missed any?
Let's see, you said skeletons, rogue scorpions, green dragons, and stonemen?
And that is correct.
Yeah, those are the 4 that I've seen. And then of course you have the baby dragon breath we saw from the slimes earlier. Those were causing some trouble. I'm trying to think of what... I know there was at least one other that we had seen.
And of course, go ahead and throw in the hurt mores that we have seen from quite a few enemies as well.
True, the Magician, the Magidrake, so it's been a rough early go, and that's why our runners are here at level 9, 50 minutes into this seed.
Unfortunately, some sadist rolled this one.
Indeed. Well, the road to the bracket stage, it is definitely not easy. It is as long and winding as the Beatles song of the same name.
There's a Beatles song called Road to the Bracket Stage?
No, it's called The Long and Winding Road.
Ah, okay.
Number one hit back in 1970.
I was gonna say a little confused there. Seems a swamp cave is just really not being friendly to Z-Man. He's been kind of hit and miss getting through it. And we're gonna see yeah we are. I was about to say we're gonna see a slept and wreck on Lavkian's side from the Rogue Scorpion.
Oh, the Wombo combo.
So much sleep, so much hurt more, so much Dragon Lord breath. Speaking of sleep, the wolves with sleep and hurt, it seems. I guess that's quite a bit more tolerable. And being noted in chat by Centroid41, the next level could just have everything. That is quite true. Level 10 could indeed have all of the spells. Just once, I want to see a seed where the first level, that level 2, and bam, there's all spells. Don't even have to worry about getting spells ever again. Then again, who needs spells anymore once level 2 gives you heal more and hurt more, as we've seen that happen a fair amount of times now.
Just when you think you've seen everything, something new and exciting and different happens. That's what I've learned in doing the commentary for these races over the better part of the last 8 months.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. It wasn't that long ago we had the first time of returning to Tangital Castle put you in the ocean and give you a bath before you could actually enter the castle. I've been fortunate enough to experience quite a few of the that's never happened before moments with Dragon Warrior Randomizer.
Yeah, one that jumps out at me was the Throne Rune having the starting items of all 3 magic keys.
Oh, and Z-Man getting taken down by the Red Dragon just outside of Remolder. But he knows there's a town there now, and I have to be willing to bet he's gonna make a beeline right back to it. And I have to say, that is one I have not experienced yet. I have not seen a throne room filled with nothing but keys.
It certainly was interesting, that is for sure. And Sports Hefe noting that the deaths pretty much matching, I guess in terms of chronological synchronology or something along those lines. But so far we're now up to a combined 37 deaths between the 2 runners, 54, almost 55 minutes into the seed.
And go ahead and add another death to that as Z-Man gets taken down by a Magiwyvern.
Yeah, there's 38.
Meanwhile, Lavkian just trying to do some grinding on these knights, it seems. And one more death to the list we go. I have to say, I think one of my favorite starts was started with sword, picked up a harp, got a magic key, and had return. So got to keep our magic key, went to the treasury, and found the stones and the token in there as well, along with a little bit of gold and another key. So, I mean, you had everything straight off from the get-go. All you had to do was find the armor, gain some levels, find a couple of caves, and you were done.
Oh, some rough luck for Lavkian, hoping to one-shot a skeleton, attacks it for 19, and it fires back with Dragon Lord Breath and sends him back. Well, I know that there's a lot of interest in these things, so I've been doing what I can to adjust my notes here to be able to keep track of those things throughout the race. The references to the COD counter, a bit of a nod to Dragon Warrior 2, where you are told that, alas, thou art as cold as a cod when you are revived by the king. So a little bit of a nod to that, and so keep track of the COD count on occasion, which, yep, that's just continuing to add up here.
Poor Z-Man, getting sent right back home just as soon as he exited the swamp cave. And another one of our statistic analysts, as we were Ravenheart, gonna go ahead and find out exactly what our odds of getting 3 keys is. One, of course, is always guaranteed, and it is always the one behind the throne room. The one behind the throne is hard-locked into being a key. So, a fun fact, if you ever see a key in one of the first 2 chests, you know you have a double key start.
And that gives you the options to use it for all kinds of other things.
Oh, yes. It gives you the option of perhaps my most favorite grind, should it be available, where before you ever even leave the castle, you can grind as much gold as your heart desires. If there's a gold chest in the throne treasury, or in the castle treasury, rather. Alright, so I believe we have round 4 or 5 for Z-Man. He makes his way through the swamp yet again.
So yeah, the looks like the numbers based on that, it looks like that it's oh wow, it looks like another Dragon Lord Breath for Z-Man.
Wow, and our chat doing some math for us on what the odds of getting 3 magic keys in the throne room would be. With 1 being guaranteed, that means you only have to get the other 2 to be a magic key, and it is a 0.738% chance of happening. So less than 1%. But with as many Dragon Warrior Randomizer races as we've seen or see, it's not hard to believe that it has happened. Just in the official SRL races, there has been 760 recorded so far. But that doesn't include the amount of races that have been done just in someone's own time of streaming, off stream. There's bound to be at least twice as many, I would say. And level 10 actually looking really nice on the stats. That should be enough, if I'm not mistaken, to survive a Dragon Lord 2 Breath now, as long as you have full HP.
So I had to refresh my screen. Pretty close for both of them as far as when they acquired level 10. Pretty still well neck and neck.
Yeah, they have both definitely been able to keep in very close range of each other experience-wise. And even exploration-wise, lavkian doesn't really have that large a lead. As soon as Z-Man can make his way into Remolder here and pick up some keys, they will be even exploration-wise as well. And he does make his way there, and looks like lavkian perhaps gonna go and take a look at what's guarding the princess.
So we're just a few steps away from seeing what the Spike Tile Guardian is in the Swamp Cave. Can be one of 6 enemies usually. Oh, and it's the Axe Knight.
Well, that's certainly the best option when it comes to these spike tiles. Axe Knight will be the easiest to kill, as it takes usually just a single hurt more for 130 experience, and you can continuously walk back onto that tile and get it and kill it again and again for guaranteed experience. And that is the 3rd time I saw Z-Man go in and out of Remolder.
And Z-Man checking the Rimbledar door. I don't know if lavkian did earlier. Oh, we have some big bucks.
Oh, that explains why. He's doing a bit of a gold grind there. That's certainly a gold grind the hard way, as it costs you 2 keys each time. So you're losing about 100 gold every time you do that to pick up the gold that's in the chest. And lavkian gonna go ahead and turn in the Silver Harp and pick up his Staff of Rain now. Oh, and we have our first Metal Slime sighting on lavkian's side. However, it makes like it usually does and quickly runs away.
So as far as what is available there in Rimbledar, I mean, you could probably go for a broadsword. Maybe he's already got some armor there that's probably better, but the large shield, I would imagine, also. Yep, there's the broadsword.
And lavkian, who did not have enough keys to check this chest, he only had enough to buy 2 keys, does get a look at it now, sees that it's gold, so he'll at least be relieved that it wasn't something important, such as maybe Erdrick's sword.
And lavkian trying to run away, and ooh, the red dragons with standard dragon breath, and is able to get away.
And being noted in chat by Jay Coper, not understanding why some people go into the item menu and go to the magic key and use it to unlock the door instead of the door command. I have to admit that's something I've never been able to understand myself, as you have it takes some extra menuing, some extra time to go into your items and use the key.
Yeah, I can understand utilizing it once just to, if you're checking your key inventory, because you can only carry maximum of 6. And as noted in chat, Z-Man taking out a metal slime for the maximum 255 experience, and has taken the experience lead back.
And we see Hawksness being found in Lavkin's side. Doesn't want to go check the Guardian, but we see another town just across the ocean there as well. And yet more sightings abound. We have a Sharlock sighting on Z-Man's side.
So the pieces of the proverbial puzzle starting to come together. As Lavkian now going to heal up and try to traverse the plains here, and makes it into the town of Cole. So there is a searchable item here, which Lavkian is going right to, and there's nothing there.
The big letdown of nothing. And Z-Man finding a actually valuable town of Garenham. So we will have 3 chests to be checked, along with a basement, which we know at this point can only hold either Garenham's grave, the mountain cave, or the Stones of Sunlight cave. So we could actually see a potential gold grind being set up here, allowing Z-Man to purchase the silver shield that was spotted in Cantlin. And it's a dark cave and mountain cave.
And Ezra Ravenheart noting that the belt in Garenham confirms that the Guardian in Hawksness is going to have 1 item in there for certain. As we mentioned earlier, the Fairy Flute and the Erdrick's Token can, but don't necessarily have to be in treasure chests. They could be in the search spots or vice versa. So makes for a little more opportunity to try to find it.
Ooh, and Magiwyvern has sleep. And I actually didn't catch what was in that chest.
Just some big bucks.
Well, we have our first set of wings being found, and that actually is beneficial if we don't see the return spell by the time we go into Sharlock. It's not often it happens, but if the return spell happens to be behind level 16, and you're able to go into Sharlock and take out the Dragon Lord before you reach level 16, your only way of getting home quickly would be a set of wings. And there's our token.
Yep, Erdrick's Token. So we know that it's not in a search spot, so that confirms that with the 1 curse belt that was found, that Hawksness is going to guard either the Fairy Flute or Erdrick's Armor, and the other is going to be on the Overworld.
Which for Lavkian, he has the coordinates, and we're not going to see what that last chest in the mountain cave holds for Z-Man, but if he can remember to go and grind the gold here in the treasury, he does have the gold grind in effect. For those who are unfamiliar with the gold grind, the way that chests are stored in Dragon Warrior is you can only ever store a maximum of 8 chests. And we have the Harp Knight being found. Ah, good old Harp Knight. So we'll get to that in just a moment. The way that this works is when you pick up a chest, it adds it into the stack of 8 chests. And once you have reached 8 chests in the stack, every chest you open after that will no longer disappear and allow you to continuously open it. The way that this is done is when you open chests in the mountain cave or the grave, and you die back to Tantajul, those chests are not removed from your stack. The Throne Room's 3 chests that always stay open are added to that stack as well. So you only ever have to open 5 chests, whether it be the 5 in the mountain cave or the 5 in the grave, and then the 3 from the throne are added, giving you that 8 stack, allowing you to continuously open all the chests we have here in the treasury. Of course, Z-Man already opened 3 in Garenham and then opened an additional 4, so he only needed 1 more chest. He was way over the limit. As for our Harp Knight, well, when the chest glitch gets activated, it can sometimes throw some random names together when you go to open a chest, such as the Harp Knight or the Axe Ghost, the Sword Magician, the Red. There's a few others I can't think of right now.
Oh, they're all fun, as now Lavkian is in the mountain cave.
And Lavkian not far behind Z-Man. Perhaps we will get to see what that last chest did hold and find out if it was required for Z-Man to collect it or not. And he's actually going well above and beyond what's needed for a silver shield, so perhaps a silver shield, a flame sword, and maybe a magic armor should there be one. I don't believe we saw one in Cantlin.
There has not been a magic armor seen as of yet. The only towns that have not been checked in terms of their weapon shops are Garenham and Cole.
Well, he is grinding up to enough to be able to purchase all 3. So it's 14,800 for a silver shield, and then an additional 9,800 for the magic armor, and 7,700 for a flame sword, giving a roughly about 33,500, I believe? Or
somewhere thereabouts, although the 9,800 is for the flame sword and the 7,700 is for the magic armor.
Oh yeah, you're correct there. Had those a little mixed up.
Yeah, as Willy Wonka said so infamously, strike that, reverse it.
Indeed, and yes, he did pick up the fighter's ring. I believe that was the one that was called the Harp Knight, or it may have been confused with the bamboo pole.
I think that one was actually the silver harp. Well, it said silver harp, but it was actually the fighter's ring.
Always fun to be had with the chest glitch.
Yep, you never know what you're gonna get. But Z-Man, he knows he's gonna get something here in town. And he's going right for that silver shield. So that's gonna be a nice upgrade of an additional 16 defense points.
That will certainly help with surviving some of these much nastier enemies we've been encountering. Such as the golem that Lavkian just found. He was able to get away from it, though. And not finding anything to Z-Man's liking behind the locked shop. And, well, it was just a pair of wings, so Z-Man will not be missing out on anything important, it looks like. And he grinded up enough for it, but only going to find a silver shield here in Cantlin to his liking.
Yep, so Lavkian looking to Death Warp, and after having found the wings, dare I say, he's going to jet out of there. I'm sure only one person got that.
I have to say, not one I am familiar with, and Z-Man will be acquiring his coordinates as Lavkin reaches level 11. And we have new spells, we have Heal More.
Well, Jet was the name of a song that was done by the band Wings, headed by Paul McCartney, previously of the Beatles.
That's certainly not one I'm familiar with. So we do have Lavkin taking a ever so slight experience lead, but he will be doing his gold grind now. Most definitely for a silver shield, and possibly a flame sword, as he has seen a flame sword. And again, we are almost matched evenly on exploration. I believe the only things Lavkin has found that Z-Man has not is Coal and Hawksness at this point. And Z-Man will go ahead and upgrade the chainmail to the half plate.
And meanwhile, I'm apparently inflaming the chat.
Well, at least when it comes to all of the Beatles references that you're putting out, I would agree with that. Meanwhile, Lavkin collecting multiple broadswords.
And now here's Z-Man in the Tablet Cave, gonna go and pick up his torch.
And our tracker noting that Lavkin was going with the Talon strat as he was collecting all of those broadswords. So it does appear that while we have a bit of a sprawling initial continent, all of the goods are on the second continent. We are still missing Garenham's grave and the Stones of Sunlight Cave, however. So that is 6 chests that have not been opened, of which can still contain Erdrick's sword, potentially, a death necklace, and then will definitely one of 6 contain the Stones of Stones of Sunlight, not Stunlight. And Z-Man trying to take down a second metal slime, but no luck. And Z-Man being sent back home by yet another Magi Wyvern. those magic wyverns have not been kind to him at all. And although I cannot hear him, I'm almost positive that the Z-Man must be cursing me.
Now, whatever would make you say that, Ryu?
It probably wouldn't have anything to do with me being the one who rolled this seed. As we are an hour and 20 minutes in, and we are lacking all of the key items to even enter Sharlock. We are lacking the stats to even think about entering Sharlock. And there's a couple of caves that are still out there somewhere.
So at this point, the Stones of Sunlight are, there's a 1 in 6 chance of where it could be. One of the 5 treasure chests in Garen's grave, or, dare I say, in the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave.
That is certainly possible. We only have 6 chests outside of Sharlock left to be searched, so one of those 6 is the Stones of Sunlight cave and could definitely hold the Stones of Sunlight.
And yes, Sports Hefe, really, wizards do have heal more.
Ooh, that was not something I'd seen from a wizard yet. It's a shame the ghost can make a decent late game grind to enemy, but not if they can heal all the damage you're going to do to them.
And Lavkian going to pick up that flame sword.
I think that will be the last of the shop items we see for the moment anyway. As Lavkian's going to be a little shy of picking up any magic armor should it be found anywhere. While the vanilla game, you are guaranteed to be able to find all of the items somewhere amongst the many shops. In Randomizer, some of them just might be excluded, which includes the silver shield. In this case, it just might be the magic armor.
Well, Lavkian going to head into Hawksness and hope that he might defeat an enemy that could perhaps give him a better armor than the magic armor.
Ooh. That's a big enemy to go up against guarding that spot.
Especially given at this point, considering that it's hitting for anywhere between 18 and 36 hit points per attack.
And most of which, ooh, and baby breath. I'm gonna say most of which landing for that closer to 36 side and heal more. Oh no. Well, we're gonna have to most likely see a hurt more or a stop spell being obtained before this Armored Knight will go down.
Oh, that just made things a little more interesting.
Lavkian may be cursing me now.
Well, it's a good thing I have a short day at work tomorrow, because we're going to be here a while.
It's a good thing both of our runners were more than happy to take a bit of an extended run at this as well. And looks like Z-Man trying for a metal slime yet again, and might be able to get it. Nope. Those metal slimes are being very stubborn, as they always are. But Z-Man does finally get to level 11, and will be more than happy to see Healmore come about.
So, experience-wise, the gap expanding in that it's about a actually 10-minute and 2-second differential from when lavkian hit level 11 versus when Z-Man did.
And we have a cave just behind Sharlock. Perhaps it's the back entrance. Or it's the graveyard of all of the Dragon Lord's victims.
So 5 chests here in Garen's grave, and that's great odds. We've got some big bucks, a torch, a treasure box, and an herb.
Well, that's 3 of our remaining chests, and nothing good found. And Z-Man, when he finds that cave, with the fact that he has been past that location multiple times now, might give himself a slight kick at least. So with not finding too much in the first 3 chests, Lavkian will be diving deeper into the grave, and hoping that the first of the 2 chests is what holds what he wants. But given that there's still a couple more items to be found, such as the sword, the Stones of Sunlight, and a death necklace, we'll potentially be checking both chests, even if the first one has something he wants in it. And thought Z-Man might have been going for a princess rescue there, but nope, it was just a random axe night.
Yeah, so far in the overworld, only 3 chests that have not been found.
Oh, he was actually going for the princess. Okay, I thought I saw him go that direction. So, with rescuing the princess here, I'm certain Z-Man will be going through Swamp Cave after obtaining Gwaylen's love, anyway, and will be making his way to hopefully what will be Erdrick's armor for him.
Oh, and a magic key in the mid spot. So it's a coin flip. It's 50-50. Either the Stones of Sunlight are deep in the grave, or they are off somewhere in the vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave.
And as Lavkian has seen every single other chest available, that would mean he would know the Stones of Sunlight are in the Stones of Sunlight cave. And if this is not the Stones of Sunlight here, that would also then mean that the sword is in Sharlock.
In which I'll get to use my fun little pyramid guesses table that I have here. Yes, I added that to my notes too.
And it is the Stones of Sunlight. Well, we still have one more chest left to be found, and it could hold the sword. It may not be in Sharlock after all. And so far at level 11 with a flame sword, attack power not looking too good. So that sword might be rather wanted. Let's say, what is it, extra 14 attack power? If I'm remembering my stats properly.
What, Erdrick's armor, or Erdrick's sword rather, over the flame sword is a 12 differential.
12, okay.
Yeah, 40 for Erdrick's sword versus 28 for the flame sword.
Well, Lavkian's exploration will be ended by a golem. Oh wow, and Gwaelin's Love right outside of Swamp Cave. Whatever it will be located not far away. And Z-Man being accosted by a wizard yet again.
Gonna have to use a heal more here, and does.
Yeah, thankfully at this point, the wizards aren't hitting for quite as much as they were before, but still hurts a fair enough amount. And just another quick check to make sure he's got the right spot, and Erdrick's armor. So with the armor and a silver shield equipped, we are at 74 defense power. So actually, defense looking very nice. Only at level 11 here. Depending on how some of our next couple of levels go, could be very close to defense breaking a lot of enemies. Which, speaking of which, might have actually done that with the wizards.
Not quite yet on the wizards. You would need 80 defense to damage break that. So the only ones that aren't damage broken, I'll explain a little bit more about what that is in a moment. But you have the Knight, the Magiwyvern, the Demon Knight, the Wizard, the Star Wyvern, the Werewolf, the Green Dragon, Axe Knight, Blue Dragon, Snowman, Armored Knight, Golem, and Red Dragon. So quite a few enemies that are there that are a bit on the tough side, but yeah, getting pretty close. Now, what damage breaking means is when your defense is the same as or higher than the enemy's strength, it provides a different calculation and has only a certain hit point damage cap, which, depending on what the enemy is, it could be, in the case of the Wraith Knight, which is the highest enemy that is damage broken, it can hit for as high as 12 hit points, but as low as 0, a miss.
And if your defense should get high enough, well, then you become a metal slime and either no damage is done or 1.
At this point, that's what they pretty much are for things like the slimes, the blue and red slimes.
And Z-Man trying to get away from this Red Dragon, but Red Dragon is just saying nope. And Lavkian will be taking on the Axe Knight in the Swamp Cave and rescuing his own princess here shortly.
And Z-Man, meanwhile, contemplating the words that the king has to say about death not having, should not have taken thee.
Well, we have been going at it for 1 hour and 34 minutes at this point. Perhaps nature's call. Sometimes happens at the most inopportune moments. And Lavkian does rescue his princess. We'll be returning him to the king here in just a moment. And Z-Man, after taking a long silence to think about what the king had to say, we'll be getting back on the move again. So right now, Lavkian's advantage is he has explored the grave, he has the Stones of Sunlight, and knows what is in all of the chests. Whereas Z-Man, he has the armor, but still has to go explore the grave and pick up his Stones of Sunlight.
Now, I think what he's doing here is he's going back into the swamp cave to try to take out an Axonite or two to go up to level 12, as he's only 245 experience away. It's only 2 Axonites away. So hoping that maybe that'll be the level that gives all the things.
It's not a bad idea, knowing where Axonites are guaranteed to be found. The only problem is Axonites are still hurting for quite a bit at this point.
Yeah, every swing that they take, it does anywhere between 14 and 28. And, ooh, getting hit with a max roll there, so that's a little on the rough side.
He does manage to take it out, though, so one more to go.
And both of our runners a little over 100 experience away from one another. So if Z-Man takes out this Axonite here, that'll get him over that 3,000 experience mark to get to level 12.
And Lavkin escaping the wombo combo of Sleep and Dragon Lord 2 Breath. New spell learned, but it is not hurt more.
It looks like it was Radiant.
Radiant is a good one to have, though. Makes exploring caves much easier, as it will give you, instead of a 3x3 tile, it gives you, what is it, a 5x5, I think? Or 4x4?
No, I believe it's 5x5.
Yeah, I think it is, because you have the 1x1 as you're walking through with nothing, a 3x3 with a torch, or as the spell of Radiant wears off a little bit, it will go down to a 3x3. Which, honestly, I've always kind of hated that it does that the Radiant spell will slowly wear it off, and you go from this nice, huge 5x5 square of exploration down to the 3x3, and eventually all the way down back to the 1x1. I can understand with a torch, the torch eventually burns away, so it could go from the 3x3 down to a 1x1, but yeah, why is the magic not strong enough to do that?
I'm not sure, as Lavkian gets to level 12 as well, and High Spirits in chat breaking down the step grid, as you have that 5x5 surrounding for 80 paces or 80 steps. Then it shrinks down to a 4x4 grid for 60 paces, and then you have a 3x3 light grid for 60 steps, and then it fades away to darkness, just the little light surrounding you.
Oh, that's actually some interesting information to know. I actually never knew that.
I was aware of that, but like the Mary Wells tune from 1964, he beat me to the punch.
Well, I was aware of the light decreasing, just not the exact step count for it. Although usually with most caves, it's enough that you can get everything in a cave before it goes back to the 1x1 square of just you. And I believe Lavkian has picked up their Erdrick's armor as they're no longer taking swamp damage. Meanwhile, Z-Man having a go at this Star Wyvern and does manage to take it out. And with the healing in Garenham, looks like, yes, Lavkian's going to be our first one into Sharlock, so potentially going for a sword dive here.
And now into Cole goes Z-Man and is not going to be thrilled with finding nothing.
And finding some not so nice things along the way here either. So far, first floor Sharlock, not fun.
And that's without red dragons.
Well, the Armored Knights, or as they're affectionately known as the AK-47s, doing what they do best, which is dealing a ton of damage.
And then we actually, have chat making a great point showing that my math and fatigue is not exactly on par, and that it would actually be a 7x7 grid, then fading down to a 5x5, then a 3x3, and then the 1x1, because you can't be in the center of a 4x4 grid.
You know, that is quite true. I did not catch that myself.
It's also getting pretty late. It's closing in on quarter to midnight in the central time zone, quarter to 1 a.m. here on the East Coast. But we appreciate you sticking with us here on Randomania 2, Restation, and I'm Ferran Burgundy. Also want to thank MathGirl718 for doing the restreaming and Azrael Ravenheart for doing the tracking.
And I have to say, High Spirit's making a note that some of the Dragon Warrior games, you actually take half damage when asleep. I must say that's yet another fact of Dragon Warrior I was not aware of. But High Spirit's having played recently 1 through 9 and does actually speedrun all 9 of them, he would definitely be the one to know all things Dragon Warrior / Dragon Quest.
And Lavkian looks to be getting his Axe Knight grind on.
That is going to be a rough grind. And we have the last of the overworld chests being found by Z-Man here. And the Guardian of the Stones of Sunlight only giving the Torch of Sunlight.
Or the Torch of Cave Light. Or maybe Dungeon Light, I don't know. Just don't get blinded by the light.
No, never. Never get blinded by the light.
Apparently I'm stuck in the 60s and 70s. Almost like the attack and defense total for at least for Z-Man at the moment. So with that torch in the Vanilla Stones to Sunlight Cave, that means that, well, there are only 7 treasure chests left in which the Erdrick sword, the best sword in the game, can be. So this is your chance to get your guesses in at home and in chat, as we're going to find out which of those chests it is here. And Centroid going with the top left, or $300 chest for fans of the old Pyramid Game Show.
I will throw my vote into the hat with the vanilla location as usual.
Ryu with vanilla. And Lavkian did grab Erdrick's armor. Wow, a lot of guesses for vanilla chest here.
And one of those chests is definitely going to be the Death Necklace. And we have not seen what lies underfoot the Armored Knight in Hawksness, so it is still potential that the flute is hidden in one of those chests as well. And Lavkian running out of MP, and not able to take out one more Axe Knight before it sends him home.
And we've got some more guesses. I'm going to put my guess in. I actually was thinking the 100 chest as well, so I'm going with Azra Blight on that. Sports Hefe got you in for the bottom left chest, the $50 chest. And another death for Z-Man.
And looking at our current stats setup, while of course our attack power is not, even with a flame sword, near the required minimum amount, we're not actually even at minimum HP or MP counts either, as HP is at 95 if you have a strength HP build, or in Lavkin's case, only 88 at strength agility. That will not guarantee your survival against 2 Dragonlord 2 breasts, as they will deal a maximum damage of 42, 44, 46, or 48. 2 48s back to back will deal 96, meaning even Z-Man can't survive that yet.
And there is Hurtmore at level 13. So Lavkian is going to start roasting some knights.
I will certainly make his grind much faster now. More often than not, the Hurtmore will one-shot the knights. If it doesn't, then one smack of a sword and it'll finish it off.
So now 5,625 to get to level 14. So with 1,500 experience, you're looking at about 12 Axe Knights.
And Lavkian is just in grind mode at this point. So he doesn't have to explore for anything more, he doesn't have to locate anything more. All he has to do is get either up to just enough that the sword would put him over the amounts, or if he wants to just forego the sword and just grind straight to the enough AP to fight the Dragon Lord, just grind it, go straight to him, and not even bother looking for a sword. That target amount, of course, is 130 attack power. That would be enough attack power allowing you to do 7 to 15 damage to Dragon Lord 2. With averaging 11, you would need, what is it, 15 hits, I believe? About 15 hits, 16 to guarantee.
I was a little lost on the math for a moment there, as I was also distracted by chat. There was a question of how many defense points do you need to be able to damage break the Axe Knight, which the answer to that is 94. And then once you do that, the Axe Knight will only be able to hit for anywhere from 0 to 16 hit points.
And our tracker stating it is indeed 15 hits. So I did have it correct the first time, which is, of course, the max HP that the Dragon Lord 2 can have in the randomizer. It will have between 150 and 165.
So here is the grave for Z-Man.
And I will be sure to ask Z-Man later during the interview, but I have to feel he has to be kicking himself for not finding it during one of his many times of going over there. And Azrael has been keeping a fair amount of stats here throughout the tournament. I'm not sure if what the Dragon Lord's HP has been is one of those stats, but I know for sure that there has been at least 3 during the tournament Dragon Lord 2 rather fights that had the max at 165. 2 of which were actually my runs. I think somebody was stacking it against me a little.
I think Rod Stewart said it best, some guys have all the luck. I don't know why I'm in such like a musical reference vibe tonight. Maybe it's just because it's getting late at this point. It's getting late early.
The funny thing there is I'm usually the one that will do song cues to almost anything. My roommate and wife will attest to that one, sometimes giving me very disapproving looks for doing it.
We have level 14 for lavkian, which included a 29 hit point gain. And 5 power.
Well, that's definitely plenty enough HP, and that means once Z-Man reaches that level, he would actually have expectedly a fair amount more HP. But looking at right now, they both have this armor, they both have the silver shield. With a 2-level differential, only a 3 defense power difference between the two on a strength agility build at the moment.
So a quick visit for lavkian over to that man named George to replenish the magic points and send lavkian back on his way.
Yes, our friend George. And playing along with our pyramid game of the Sharlock Treasury, I forget what the round is called, but E-Tap with the I hope someone comes to rescue me. This castle's so cold and dark. They'll be happy to see me here. How come I keep ending up in this room time and again? Things Arctic Sword might say. Bing!
Bravo, E-Tap. Bravo. Oh.
That's gonna bother me. I don't remember what the name of those rounds were called now.
That was the winner circle. That was the bonus. Yeah, you're thinking of the main game where you're describing individual things, but no, in this case it was the winner circle where you just give give only a list.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
And Z-Man has picked up the Stones of Sunlight. And has enough to cast outside, but is opting not to.
Well, he might be wanting to go ahead and just stay on that continent. I'm not too sure as to why he would want to. Or not in that cave, rather. And with 1 HP left, takes down a wizard. Yeah, outside is 6, and then the return is 8.
Sports Hefe noting in chat, the experience lead for lavkian now at about 2850.
Well, whether Z-Man wanted to go home or not, the Golem will make sure he does.
A rather powerful escort.
Well, with the knowledge that Z-Man has, I would think at this point he would be either going for a grind. Well, perhaps he'll go ahead and collect his rainbow drop first, but I would think he'd be going for a grind, or if he's feeling behind, he may go ahead and try a dive into Sharlock, much like Lavkian did.
Meanwhile, lavkian just a couple of more Axe Knights away from level 15.
Unfortunately, Z-Man's trek to the Rainbow Drop Cave being cut short. Ooh, that magic game. 16 agility and the 7 power are both quite nice, but 2 MP will not do you any favors. And we do finally see a decent defense power showing up with that level on Lavkian side at 85 now. I believe we're only 3 away from defense breaking most of the Sharlock enemies that you're gonna find, like the Armored Knight, or the Werewolf, or the Golem, Red Dragon, you know, those enemies.
Yeah, with 85 defense, it looks like it's just 9 enemies that are going to be troublesome. The Werewolf, the Star Wyvern, the Green Dragon, the Axe Knight, Blue Dragon, Stone Man, Armored Knight, Golem, and Red Dragon.
I just remember there being something magical about 88 defense power.
Well, the 88 means that you don't have to worry about those pesky green dragons anymore.
And then 94, I think, is the next step that you want to get up to. Trying to remember all these defense numbers, there's too many of them. Of course, if you have a very nice and handy spreadsheet, you don't have to remember them.
Either that or a redonkulous amount of notes, because that's pretty much what I have.
That as well.
But yes, 86 for the Star Wyvern and Werewolf, 88 for the Green Dragon, 94 for the Axe Knight, 98 for the Blue Dragon. And Azrael saying if you put up post-it notes on multiple monitors, that's another way to go.
And does look like Z-Man will be going and grinding away on the Axe Knights now as well. As Lavkian takes a roasting from a Rogue Scorpion. Not too sure as to why he didn't just give it a quick Hurt More. As Hurt More will kill a Rogue Scorpion in one hit, and they're still a decent experience at least. So we will be looking for 9750 now, so at 130 in Axe Knights, we're looking at another 10 at this point, or actually another 11 Axe Knights to get to that level. Which is the amount of Hurt Mores Lavkian has available to him, but with having to use some Heal Mores, well, we're not going to see that this attempt, I would think.
Not in this, I guess, dive, for lack of a better term.
Everybody talking about notes and sticky note, post-it notes, and then of course I mentioned spreadsheets, and yet poor me just trying to keep it all in my head instead.
Well, everybody has their system. Now, as they're both grinding here, we want to let you know about some of the upcoming matches here among the Randomania networks, including in just a little under 16 hours from now at 5 p.m. Eastern, now later today here on the East Coast. It's going to be Captain Green 7 against Shubinator. 3 hours after that, you're going to see a battle of Sparkover and High Spirits. There's definitely some history there with those two, as they're both very savvy veteran runners of Dragon Warrior Randomizer. Is now level 14, it looks like, for Z-Man.
And he will most certainly be happy to be seeing Hurtmore showing up. Unfortunately, he lacks the MP at the moment to use it.
It looks like he had gotten it at 13 and was gleefully using it, but then realizing, ooh, only 66 MP, and wondering what gives. The nightcap tomorrow in just 21 hours from now at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a battle of the undefeated as JJ Schmidt 77 takes on Centroid 41. Be sure to follow the Randomania networks as well as the Randomania channel on YouTube, and also Randomizer Mania on Twitter for updates on which channels those are going to be on.
Alright, and one more of these Axe Knights, and we'll see what 16 has to offer.
And here it is. We've got 5 power, 4 response speed, 5 hit points, 3 magic points, and utter disappointment.
Oh, that is not a fun set of stats to see. So, 12,000 experience. Here we come. Even with the sword, that would only get us to 124 attack power, and we'd still be rather short on MP. Although looking on Z-Man's HP count, he will be in Death Necklace range, so 16 could potentially do it for Z-Man. Probably not recommended. 17, depending on our MP gain and attack power gain, could definitely do it though.
You know, the reason that the Death Necklace is so essential is that while in the vanilla game it is merely a cursed item that prevents you from entering Tangential Castle, in the Randomizer, a little provision was added to kind of give a slight risk-reward bonus, in that when you put on the Death Necklace, you get an additional 10 attack power. However, it comes at the cost of 25% of your maximum hit points. So a lot of our runners will tend to wait until they have at least 130 hit points to potentially consider putting on the Death Necklace and getting that little extra power boost.
Z-Man will be sent packing, and we'll have to make yet another trip back to the swamp. And meanwhile, Lavkian at this point is, let's see, 1635 away, so we're looking at about another 13. Well, at this point, another 12 Axe Knights, I believe. And will not have the Hurt Morse for doing that much, so we'll be seeing that happen on his next dive into the Swamp Cave.
So I want to thank our restreamer MathGirl718 for keeping us deep into the night here, and Azrael Ravenheart for doing the tracking, perhaps also studying potential competition, as Azrael Ravenheart has a pretty noted match coming up this week, also being 2-2, takes on the Hangry Canuck, and another winner moves on to the bracket stage, and the loser will end up playing the last chance play-in race to make the bracket stage, potentially. So the grind continues here as Z-Man working on the last Axe Knight to get him to level 15.
And actually forgot there was not an HP gain on that level. And not actually sure, did Lavkian choose to outside and walk back to Breckenary to restore his MP there?
That looks to be the case, as it's not too far from the cave. Oh, he did he did cast Return after walking out, so perhaps
I
there's a
see.
thought of, yeah, of grinding up here and going from there, maybe, or might just be going back on over here to the cave. We'll see. Nope, he's back for more.
I have to say, I would have rather thought that just going ahead and using the last of your resources, taking the death, and getting the free recovery of HP and MP by being sent to the castle, as Z-Man just did, and walking back would probably have been the better choice there, but I don't know, we'll see. I'm certainly not going to fault him at this point, as his choices have at least gotten him the lead.
And now it gets level 17 with 13 power, 10 speed. Now we're talking.
Well, with the sword, that would actually bring us to 137 attack power, meaning we would be dealing 9 to 18 damage. But we're still looking at a very low MP count. And it would seem Lavkian agrees that MP count is just way too low and is going to go ahead and continue grinding up to 14,250 for level 18.
The challenge at the moment is the low magic points. As even with the max MP of 72, just 9 heal mores down in down in our members, if they're going deep into Sharlock, that's a pretty low number to be able to take on the Dragon Lord.
And a question in chat, he hits hard enough, is hurt more still more effective? It would actually take 2 attacks still, and I don't believe that'd be guaranteed to take down an Axe Knight compared to the 1 hurt more. And to answer DJ Wee's, not knowing how far Sharlock is, it's a fair trek. You have to go through Swamp first, and then from Swamp you have to go quite a bit up to the north and then east. The good news is you do have Garenham right outside of Sharlock, so you can use MP frivolously along the way and recover before diving.
And to answer the question in chat, as far as the doing damage as well, as looking at the range here, with 125 attack power, there's a damage range of 21 to 42 hit points in attacking the Axe Knight. So you more than likely could 2, but might also possibly 3-shot it, whereas with the Hurtmore, you're possibly pretty likely going to hit it with 1 shot with a Hurtmore. Maybe you have to take a second swing, but that's about it. So at this point, a Hurtmore strategy would still be the way to go, unless you're swinging and hitting for 60 plus points of damage, but by that point you're probably loaded for bear and ready to go.
So let's see, we have, I want to say about 4 more Axe Knights for Z-Man to 16 here, and only 2 more Axe Knights for, no, sorry, about another 4 actually Axe Knights for Lavkian as well to level 18. And depending on how Z-Man feels about level 16, he may go ahead and just make an attempt if he's feeling behind at 2 hours and 16 minutes in almost.
The longer a seed goes, the more you tend to see desperation come into play as your eyes are darting over to the SRL chat looking to see if that dot done is coming in from your opponent.
Well, we have 16 for Z-Man, and we have 18 for Lavkin. What will 18 do? That'll do it. That is more than enough. With picking up Erdrick's sword, not even required at this point, but would put you at 146 attack power, and would certainly clinch your victory against the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, you see that put the majority of the stats into the green for Lavkian, so he's looking at that and thinking, alright, it's gotta be go time.
Now, if Lavkin chooses not to go for the sword, if low rolls plague him, the Dragon Lord fight could still not go his way, also depending on how much of his magic he has to expend along the way to the Dragon Lord.
But now, as mentioned earlier, the defense for Lavkian being at 94, now if you were to grind one more level, not that he necessarily needs to, but just in case, the Axe Knights would be doing considerably less damage with every attack.
I would have to say, even though it's been well over 2 hours, I would think Lavkin would potentially go ahead and at least check for the sword. Death Necklace would not do any good for Lavkin here, but I think would go ahead and check for the sword, as that would guarantee a victory at this point. Especially if he has to use a heal more or two along the way.
And Chad is weighing in as to whether or not the Death Necklace, which adds an additional 10 attack power to your total at the cost of 25% of your maximum hit points. It's the risk versus reward that is being analyzed here, and that's one of the biggest educated gambles that tends to go on here in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community.
And for Lavkin, I believe 25% of his health would bring him down to 95, which would then make it to where he is not guaranteed to survive to Dragon Lord 2 breaths. But if he goes ahead and grabs the sword, it would more than guarantee his victory, depending on how many heal mores he has left. If he has to expend a couple, he would definitely go ahead and pick up the sword for sure. And we do see Z-Man going into Sharlock, potentially going to go ahead and pick up the sword, pick up Death Necklace, don the Death Necklace and just make a go at it at this point.
And he probably figures at 2 hours and 20 minutes into this seed that his opponent is probably already in Charlock or maybe even finishing it. So there's this, again, this air of desperation that tends to come in.
And we see Zman's actually going ahead and fighting the wizards, which he has defense broke, so they do not deal very much damage at all. So he may be looking to grab level 17 on the way down, take whatever benefits it may have for him, and again, pick up the sword, pick up the necklace, and just hope for the best here. However, Armor Knight not being all that friendly towards him right now. Well, as for another question in chat, the percentage chance on breath versus melee, it is a 50-50 chance. And then as for the percent chance of doing 48 damage over the others, it is a 25% chance, as it will do 42, 44, 46, or 48. Well, we have a dragon scale, we have some gold, we have some more gold, we have an empty chest, so a key or an herb, and since you just found a key, that was an herb. And the bottom left chest, we have the sword, so Death Necklace is vanilla sword location. And that will spell bad news for Z-Man, who is almost definitely going to be using the Death Necklace here.
Well, that just made things a little bit more interesting.
Although at this point was the Z-Man's current dive, his MP count would not even give him a slight chance at winning. So he would almost definitely have to take a second dive here. And an Axe Knight guarding, oh my god, too long, guarding the Dragon Lord here.
And Math Girl, yes, the far off location is the vanilla location.
And lavkian waiting for the stop spell from the Dragon Lord does get it, and we are on to Dragon Lord 2. Starting things low with a 12 though. But we do get 2 hits to start, and our second one is a 22, so we're 34 now. 14, that'll bring us up to 48. So 18 getting us to 66 now, and getting another double attack in with a 19. That will bring us up to 85. 15 bringing us to an even 100, getting us another double attack in at 118 with hardly a heal more used here. 15 bringing us to 133. 12 will get us to 145. So any attack after this could be the last one. And with a 16 getting us up to 161, that will do it. So get out your GGs for Lavkian, who will be our winner today.
And will also advance to the bracket stage, automatically qualifying. Oh, that is a goodie. And he is going to finish with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 25 minutes, and 43 seconds.
And an instant dot quit from Z-Man. After 2 hours, 25 minutes, I cannot say I blame him one bit for that. I would not want to even continue that either.
So we'll be hearing from them momentarily, and I certainly imagine that it will be a rather swift conversation in both cases here, given how deep into the night we've gone. And we have both of our competitors here in chat, Lavkian and Z-Man, GG, and momentarily, and I certainly imagine that it will be a rather across the way swift conversation.
Good game, Lav. Nicely done, man. That was something else.
And we have both of our competitors here in chat, Lavkian and Z-Man, GG, and
so it sounds like Lav, you've got some helium going on there in your microphone.
Grind and battle across the way.
We have the chipmunk.
Good game, Lav. Nicely done, man. That was something else. Oh, that was just brutal. Oh, so many deaths, just such bad luck. I mean, if there was one seed that was crying for early hurt more, it was this seed. Just because of how many things you can one-shot right around the castle. Oh, God.
Yeah, absolutely. I assume I'm not a chipmunk anymore.
There we go.
And now we're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was insane. I'm gonna go ahead. Z-Man, do you still have your splits? Do you split on each level?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I don't know what your experience was in the early going. I got red slime after red slime after red slime. Now, I died to, the Hurt More Magic Dracades a couple times, but
yeah.
For as low as that starting strength was, and we didn't really get much stats early on, and like you said, no early Hurt More, but I got to level 3 at 5 minutes, which when I looked at that strength, I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think I was too far behind. Well, Farron, I know, usually keeps track of these things.
Yeah,
I want to say probably a couple minutes behind that. What was my level 3, Farron?
Your level 3 was actually about 16 seconds behind Lavkian. It was pretty back and forth, even through. As I'm looking here, I mean, maybe give or take about a 2-minute differential all the way from. I mean, that's at the most, all the way from level 2 all the way up to level 10.
Oh,
That's
wow!
How close you guys were in terms of experience.
And that's with all like the expeditions and the mini gold grind I did, and wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, the first hour it was back and forth, neck and neck. It wasn't until heading into level 11 that it took maybe about 10 minutes longer for Z-Man to get to level 11. And once you had heal more, Lav, that made that a little bit easier. And then that just kind of, I say easier, and then it took maybe another 23 minutes to get from 11 to 12.
Yeah, I did a lot of exploring, and yeah, I was plus 45 minutes on my level 12 split. That's a new one. Like, oh my!
What level did you go down to the Dragon Lord at?
18.
18. I was at 16 when I quit.
Oh, I see. Yeah, 17 was like super borderline. I actually, I don't know if you did this, Z-Man. I popped into Sharlock as soon as I put everything together because I wanted to try to get the sword. But I got like, I think I got like 7 encounters on the first floor, and they were all nasty because the AK-47s had heal more. The green dragons had Dragon Lord 2 breath.
I didn't see any of them on the first floor.
And then yeah, there was like I just saw a bunch of nasty stuff all in a row. Stoneman cast Stop Spell and also had Dragon Lord 2 breath in their back pocket. So I took a quick peek, and then I was like, this is disgusting. I'm just gonna go grind. Fortunately, I assume that you did the same. I ended up doing a second kind of more traditional glitch gold grind for a silver shield and a flame sword.
Well, I did. So I did the glitch all the way up to 32,000 because I thought I saw magic armor somewhere.
Yeah, so, I did too. I did too, and I was kind of hedging my bets on at least getting full plate because I was still sitting on half plate. I didn't see half or full plate anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't see full plate or the magic armor, so I'm like, what the heck did I see? So, all right, fine, no problem. I go get the easy silver shield from Catelyn, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get the flame sword from Rimmildar.
Rimmildar, yeah.
Nope.
It was. Oh, you did. Oh, you didn't make it. Oh, wow. So you were sitting on broadsword.
I was sitting on broadsword.
So that's what made the difference in the late game then, because what Hurtmore came on either 13. So I must have just gotten to 13. Ferron, do you happen to have like a Hurtmore or notes for 13? Kind of difference there.
13 is when Hurtmore was acquired, and Lavkian, you'd gotten it about 5 minutes ahead of Z-Man. So even then, like the balance had shifted one way or the other for quite a while, and I think a lot of that had to do with who was doing an Axe Knight grind when. And Asriel noting that as far as the shops, and I actually have the notes on pretty much all of them, the only one that went unchecked by both of you was Cole. So
oh, really?
I don't know whether or not Cole had a magic armor or even a full plate, but that was the only unchecked shop. Everything else I have the stats on here.
Yeah, by the time I got to Cole, I already had the Erdrick's armor and the silver shield, and I didn't have enough money for the flame sword, so I'm like, why bother? I checked it for the fairy flute, it wasn't there, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the Cole was the first of the kind of free item spots I found, and when I saw there was no armor, and I didn't have any money at that point, so yeah, I spent all of 5 seconds in Cole over the course of the entire run.
Yeah, and I only poked my head in Hawksness for a second just to confirm that, yes, this is indeed Hawksness. That was the last town I found. So I'm like, I didn't even check the boss in Hawksness because I'm like, all right, I know the fairy flute's there. Don't care. Moving along.
Yeah, it was an armored knight, and it was unfortunate because I ended up trying to fight it because I had heal more, and so I ended up trying to fight it, but then I found out it had heal more too, and we didn't have stop spell, so I was like, well, nope.
Well, what level did we get stop spell? Was that 14 or 15?
It was, I don't remember, but it was late in. I mean, I was just fighting Axe Knights and very, very thankful to finally have Hurtmore, so I didn't even really pay attention.
My Axe Knight grind went terribly. I think there was a stretch where I missed 6 of 7 Hurtmores. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, man. Yeah, I missed a few, definitely, for sure. And I got my fair share of back attacks, which kind of made things a little less, how to say, smooth. I'm kind of curious, too, Ferran, maybe you or Ryu, you guys are maybe paying attention to this, because one thing, and I wasn't sure if it was the best idea, because I suicided to get my HP and MP back early on. Z-Man, did you do that?
Yeah, I suicided a few times, and then I suicided a bunch for the X-Neck rank, so.
Yeah, so I suicided up until the point where when we finally got return, I would save 16 MP for return outside repel combo. And, I guess you could go either way on that one, because you could stick around and get 3 more Axe Knights with that MP, but I figured it was more prudent to just get my resources back quicker.
Nah, see, I stuck around for the extra 3, at least attempts at Hurtmore, and then just death warped.
I see. That's interesting. I wonder if that ended up making a difference over time.
Well, in my opinion, what I think made the biggest difference is I found Sharlock and I found Garenham, right? And I dove Garenham quick.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw the grave. I didn't go that one tile south to the grave. And
when I
popped, yep. So I was searching the rest of the world to find the grave, and oh, look, there it is, tucked behind Sherlock.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky in that, I guess, how about that first continent? What the heck? Like,
I'm like, what? This is all that's here? Really?
yeah,
It's this
exactly.
big and it has this much swamp? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no kidding. And the best part was I didn't even hit the west edge of that swampy bit where the swamp cave was until like probably like 40 minutes in, because every time I would get to like, you can see the continent tapering off and you're like, okay, you want to think it tapers off, but then you're like, this can't be it. And every time I would get into one of those mountain tiles, I would get killed by a star wyvern or something.
Or a Magiwyvern. Magiwyverns and I did not get along in this seed.
So fortunately, and Z-Man, I don't know if you did this, but once I don't know if I got keys before you did, but as soon as I got keys, I just like hit I think I had a wing or a death warped or something, and I just went immediately back. I saw the money, and I had checked the shops in Cantlin. Like as soon as I found Cantlin, even though I had no money at that point, I checked the shops, and I was like, oh, there's like, you know, broadsword and half blade and large shield. So I did a slow gold grind for that stuff, and because we got sleep so early on, that was actually how I ended up getting to level 11 while kind of cruising around the map. Was literally Magiwyvern.
Well, what I did is all right, Farron probably notes when we got keys. So what was the difference between us getting keys, Farron?
Well, that's something I didn't really take note on. I did note that it was around the 35 or 36 minute mark that lavkian had found Rimildar.
Okay.
So that was when he had acquired keys.
So that doesn't strike me. I don't think I was that far behind that, but I did the slow gold grind in Rimildar for the broadsword.
Oh, with in the double door chest, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it was just really unfortunate because with no heal more and with the stats being as bad as they were, it was a struggle. Like I remember, I think at one point, like I kept kind of splitting the difference, which you never really want to do, but in this situation, like what else can you do? But there's multiple times where I'd like go out and explore the map for a little bit, and I'm like, all right, here's where I'm gonna like start finding some stuff, and then it's like, nope, I'm gonna get walled by this guy, and I'm walled by my low HP, so I would just keep going back to Tantagel, and I'm pretty sure up to like level 10 I was still beating up on wolves. Like,
yeah, so was I.
Oh
my apparent favorite animal the encounter of this game was the metal scorpion. I found a ton of those and was just beating that ever living crap out of those for a while.
Yeah, the metal scorpions were great because they were one of the few enemies that didn't really have anything up their sleeves. The skeletons had Dragon Lord breath, but it wasn't a high chance of using it. The wolves had sleep, but by then they were just kind of tickling me until I woke up. But yeah, the metal scorpions were great.
Yeah, I got a few wyverns in the swamp cave, and then I figured out that at some point I'm like, wait, you guys have hurt more? Why didn't you use this before?
Really? Oh man. So one thing that I will note that I think was incredibly clutch was once I kind of put everything together and went to do the Axe Knight grind, I don't remember if it was like my second or third trip in there, I found a wyvern and crit it when I needed exactly 64 experience, and that was skill level 13 for hurt more.
Nice.
And so then I was immediately able to start slaughtering, start the Axe Knight genocide. So I was very glad that I took that fight.
Did you happen to find the death necklace?
I did not. So that's actually another question I want to ask you. Did you find Stones of Sunlight Cave?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember where it was or what was in it.
I want to say it was kind of north and east of Hawksness.
Okay, interesting. So if you didn't have the death necklace, then it must have been in the vanilla sword spot, because I'm pretty sure those are the only two spots I didn't check.
No, the only two spots. Yeah, the only two spots I didn't check was the vanilla sword, and then I didn't get to the last treasure chest in the mountain cave because I think a golem got me on the way.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was. It wasn't anything of severe consequence, but I will say. Sorry, go ahead, Ferran.
I said it was just a set of wings.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Well, and then another funny thing is, I think it was Tablet was in the bottom of Tantagel. I was really hoping it was going to be the Stones of Sunlight.
So was I. I'm like, is this going to be the stone?
Sorry, go ahead, Fran.
I was praying
Just a set of
so hard
Oh, I
for the
see.
stones because that would have
okay.
just been amazing.
Yeah, that would have been really. Are you kidding me?
I ran back a couple of Z-Man seeds yesterday, just for a little bit of practice, and Z-Man had 2 seeds back-to-back tournament seeds where the Stones of Sunlight were in Tablet Cave. So yeah, I was really hoping that they were there, but just a torch, not quite enough sunlight. I ran back a couple of but wow, what a marathon of a race that was!
That was just brutal.
I can say, you must have been at 16. I'm curious. You must have been over 130 HP, right?
Oh yeah, if I had found the death necklace, that sucker was getting slapped down so fast. I think I might have was at 136, 137, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I finished at 120, 127 because the HP just like trickled in those last few levels. But 17, I think you probably could have gone at 17 if you had the death necklace. But having poked into Charlotte and seeing how nasty it was, I was like, this is way too borderline. There's no way I get down there with all my heal mores. Even if I do, I need like every turn to be a friggin' double attack. But fortunately, 18 came with like 9 more attack power and 25 MP. So once I saw that, I was like, all right, now it's go time. But in the back of my mind, because I honestly don't remember at this point, like if I even found Stones of Sunlight Cave. And in the back of my mind, I'm just like, if this sword's in there, I am so screwed. And then of course, once I'm going through Charlock, once I got into the treasury, I checked every single chest, and it was the bottom left chest, the last chest. And when I saw it was a sword, I just said, thank effing God. I did not censor myself, obviously, but I was so happy to see it because I was like, all right, this is, at that point, it's elementary.
Yeah, well, when you donned and I quit, I was actually on my way to the Vanilla Sword location because I'm like, all right, I'm hoping the death necklace is in here, and if it is, I think I'll be able to go with 17. As long as I get a little bit of MP, I think I'll be able to go with 17. And I was on my way there, and then I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. I'm like, it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm done.
Oh, hey, Tilo, who decided to race our seed in lieu of his buy, just finished. So that's a decent time to keep up on a brutal seed like that.
This was just a brutal seed. My goodness.
Absolutely. Thank God for that hurt at level 4. Imagine if we didn't get that. That was.
That would have been, if we didn't get hurt at level 4, that would have been, we might still be going.
Yeah, no kidding. No, absolutely. Because then we're sitting there to beating up on red slimes for another 20 minutes or whatever. My God.
Yeah, and then maybe we would have been able to beat up on some wolves so we could gold grind for something to beat up even more.
Or something like that.
I think there was a copper sword in Cantlin easily attainable, so I had that.
Yeah, I did note when I found Cantlin, I did note that pretty much all the cheapest items, I guess there was no club, but the leather shields or the leather armor, small shield, and the copper sword were all there, and I was like, okay, this seed has been grueling enough that I may actually want to buy this stuff later, but then we got hurt, and so that kind of hurt and sleep combo kind of made that trivial. So. But I think it's time to let Furon Burgundy and some other folks go to bed. So let you guys wrap this up real quick.
Yeah, and thanks to Furon, thanks to Ryu, thanks to Math Girl, thanks to Azrael for their roles, and I really appreciate the restream. And
absolutely,
and congrats on making the bracket.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I was really hoping to do that. At least to have a winning record, better than my 1 and 2 in last year. So we met that.
Very nice, and I'm headed toward the play-in race. We'll see if I can't get in that way.
We'll smash it.
It should be interesting coming up. It looks like it's tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, September 12th.
So we met that.
I should be able to do that day, not without much of a problem.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch because there's going to be a lot of people vying for. It's undecided yet as to whether it's 3 or 4 open spots, I believe. So it's going to be an exciting race to watch for sure.
Yeah.
Indeed. The
It's going
results
to be
over the course
exciting
of the
one to
next
play in.
12 days will certainly determine that
Yeah,
and shake things
that'll be
out.
fun to watch because
And
there's
we've
going to
got
be
a
a lot of
trifecta
people
of
vying
matches
for.
coming your
It's
way,
undecided yet
both
as to
here in
whether
the
it's 3 or
East
4
and
open
as well as the
spots, I
Central
believe.
time
So
zones now.
it's
Later
going to be an
today,
exciting race to watch.
5
for sure.
p.m. Eastern, it's going to be Schubinator taking on Captain Green
It's
7. At 8 p.m. Eastern, Sparkover against High Spirits. And the Battle of the Undefeateds in the nightcap at 10 p.m. It's going to be JJ Schmidt 77 and Centroid 41. Those should certainly be some goodies, and make sure to follow along among the Randomania networks to check that out. Also, make sure to give everybody a follow behind the scenes as well as in front here. Both of our runners, Zman050778 and lavkian. And we also want to thank behind the scenes MathGirl718 for the restream, Azrael Ravenheart for the tracking, and Ryusation for providing co-commentary alongside me here and doing a fantastic job. And also in the chat there is the link to check out the Discord so you can get more of the the not safe for air reaction of some of these various tournament races and whatnot. Plus, if you want to give the randomizer a try yourself, the link to download it is in there as well. Plus, the tournament schedule is in there also. So for everybody here, until next time, I'm Ferran Burgundy saying may your moves be excellent and your seeds stay classy. Good night, everyone.
Are we off air?
The tournament schedule is
I hope we're
there also. So for everybody here, until next time.